G'day everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today what I'm going to be doing, I've just finished a leg session and an exercise that either lots of new clients always want to know how to do, or I get asked about often, is how to do a barbell hip thrust and how to do it correctly. So what we're going to do, I set it up back here. We're going to go through exactly how you set it up, where your body position should be, some little tips and tricks and technique things, and then also we'll do some regressions and progressions of it as well, so you're getting the most out of your training and most out of hip thrust. So let's do it. Let's get ripping in. So pretty much the setup that you're going to need a bench. You're going to be needing a barbell with Olympic plates. The reason why it's important that you have Olympic plates is just so you've got enough room to actually put your legs underneath the barbell and do it safely, pretty much so it doesn't crush your legs. It makes it so much easier as well to get it up and down. And also a pad. If your gym doesn't have a pad or you don't have one of these at home, you can use a towel, you can use a gym mat and just roll it over the actual barbell just for a little bit of cushioning. So if you're using the pad like I am, you pop it this way here and you want obviously the open bit to be facing the roof, so you've got all that pad part that's actually going to be sitting in your groin, all right? So positioning for, I guess, a good starting point just to get the move bang on before you go into actually doing a full barbell hip thrust is just by doing some body weight ones. So the positioning that you're going to do for the body weight ones is just using your bench. I want pretty much your chest being in line with where the bench starts here. So you're on it about this much. If we're starting down low like this, I'm going to be having my feet, so when I push my hips up like so, they're going to be creating a 90 degree there, and I'm on a nice 90 degree with my body like this. Sweet. If you're finding that it's like this too much and you haven't got that angle, let's just bring them out a little bit. So when we're at that top position, we're creating 90 degrees. And we're going to be doing just some body weight hip thrust like this, great? So the couple little techniques for this is, see how I'm pushing through my glutes and my hips to finish off the move rather than trying to overextend it with my back up the top here. I'm keeping my chin locked in the whole time, and my eyes and my chin are actually going to be following whatever my hips do. Cool. So if I'm here, I'm following, keeping my chin tucked in the whole time, using my glutes to thrust through and up and down on the floor like that, and always pushing through your heels and not on your toes, all right? Always through your heels and pushing on up there like that, right? So that's like the body weight progression, so regression of it, and how to start, just so you kind of get the move right. And then how we're going to make it harder is by adding load and by doing it with a barbell. So we're going to be using the pad. We're going to roll that barbell into you, and the starting position that you want is to get your pad over the under the bottom of the barbell there. And the positioning of the bar, it's actually going to be sitting in between your pubic bone. So that's quite low there, your pubic bone, and your hips there. All right, you'll feel it. If it's pushing on somewhere that it hurts or it feels uncomfortable, it's not in the right spot. It should sit there pretty comfortably, especially with a pad or a bar. So we're going to get that in that spot there. And the next part, it is always a little bit awkward just getting the barbell up that first time if you haven't done it before. But all we're going to be aiming to do is put our chest in that same position as what we were with the body weight ones. We want our pretty much bottom of our chest in line with where the bench is. We're going to roll our shoulders back. We're going to be bringing our feet in as far as we can to get them flat on the ground. Some people's flexibility, might not quite be there. Often you might have a little bit of a tummy in the way. That's also no problem. Just bring your feet in as close as you can with keeping them almost flat on the floor. From this spot here, we're going to be having hands on the barbell, and we're just going to be pushing up, rolling ourselves back, and it should go there pretty smoothly and pretty comfortably like that, without sort of twisting and jerking too much. Once we're in this position here, we've got that barbell resting in between your pubic bone and the part of the hip there. It's feeling all nice. Your hand position is going to be very similar to the width of what you do a bench press with. So I kind of line up my pinkies with the little rings that's on there, making sure our legs are going to be on that 90 degree when we push it up to the sky, and we're thrusting up all the way through and activating your glutes, driving through your heels the whole time, and making sure you're not overextending lower back, all right? Now the last little point that's so important with this move is this tiny little detail at the very end. It's called a pelvic tilt. So when I get to the top of the rep, what I'm going to be doing is I'm not just pushing it straight up. If you watch my hips here real close, I'm actually going to be rotating them ever so slightly. So the barbell actually comes a little bit towards me just like that. And that's what's called a pelvic tilt. And that's what's really going to be activating your glutes at that top position of the rep there, just getting that little bit extra. So when you're right up the top there, pushing on through, using your heels. And when we get to the top part of the rep, I want you just to hold it for a second or two whilst doing that pelvic tilt. to really switch on your hammies, really switch on your glutes, and you'll be getting the full activation of your glutes and hammies for the hip thrust there. Then when you're done, it's super easy with the Olympic plates. You just sit down, you roll yourself off, and you're bloody good to go. And that's how to do it. So the main parts of it, making sure obviously your positioning is right with both your back and where your chest is lining up with the bar, and then also where the actual bar is positioned in your hip there to make sure it's nice and comfortable. Use a pad to do that. When we're up with our feet position, we want to make sure when we're up the top of the rep, it's making the 90 degree. And when we're dropping it on down, as we're coming up through your heels the whole time, getting that little pelvic tilt up the top, holding it for half a second, and then bringing it on down. There's one other variation that you can do. If you either can't quite master the double with the barbell, so you can put a little bit more through your legs, just body weight, or it is a little bit tricky. It's a single leg variation. It's a one leg hip thrust. So you be in the full hip thrust position, like so. We're gonna be bringing your leg up, so it's 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. Watch my hips, the exact same as a regular hip thrust. We're gonna be bringing them down, and see your heel there, forcing up, whilst maintaining the 90 degree with this leg the whole time. See how when I go down, it pretty much sits in the same position as this leg here, but I'm just driving through my heel as I bring it on back up. Same thing, holding it for a little half a second at the top of the rep before I start to drop it down. So that's another little variation for you to give a go, but I hope those tips help with your barbell hip thrust. Positioning, bar position, use the pad, set it up correctly, little pelvic tilt, always driving through your heels, and just hold it for a little half a second up the top. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial there, guys. Bloody love your work. Make sure you subscribe, like, rate the video, and stay tuned for more next week. Thanks, legends. Leg work.